This is another one of my stupid videos for my YouTube channel because I'm bored and it's late, and I had the flu all weekend. So now that I feel better, I'm gonna make a little video and discuss a topic, or usually I'll do that, or do a humorous take on an issue. But I was watching I was stumble fucking through my Netflix, and I was watching a movie. It was part of it. I couldn't watch all of it because it's just too depressing. But it was this movie about bullying and kids and bullying these days. Like when I was growing up, and I graduated high school in 1983, so I'm 40 years old. Back then, I mean, we got bullied. You got bullied. It was part of life. It was part of growing up. I mean, it's not like I wasn't like the bottom of whatever would be considered the bullying food chain, but I certainly wasn't anywhere near the top or the middle or near the middle. So yeah, I mean, I got fucking bullied. It was just, you just went to school, you got bullied, and you moved on with your life, I guess. I mean, it sucked, and I don't. And now they take it serious. They take it so seriously now. It's not like it was before, where it's like, oh, you got bullied, and your options back then were, sometimes it was the school intervened only if the bully hit the target of the bullying, or whatever. Or at least in my case, that happened once. And it sucks. It's miserable. I mean, school's miserable enough. I mean, school to me was an overall miserable experience, and I accepted that, and I was just glad it was fucking over, But I never wanted to kill myself. I don't understand why these kids are killing themselves now because simply because they're being bullied. I don't really quite get that. I mean, it sucked. Believe me, it sucked growing up for me. I mean, I wasn't, I had a lot of issues. I was, taking antidepressants and seeing the shrink and all that shit. I did terrible in school, and I wasn't good at sports, and I didn't really like sports anyway. But I mean, when I played sports, I could, and my cat wanted to join the discussion. And I have a cat named Gatsby, and he's perfect. And I don't know why I was ever bullied, because I grew up to be a grown man who had a wonderful, perfect little cat named Gatsby, and he's my best friend in the world. And anyway, I was stupid. He won't leave my fucking side. He showed up at my front door like late last year, and we've had him ever since. So anyway, but suffice it to say, bullying back in the day was just like, growing up in the 80s, in the early 90s, when I was leaving school, it happened. Usually it was like a junior high thing, from my experience and from what a lot of other people. That's when that stupid, immature nonsense really comes to fruition. It starts out maybe in, elementary school around 3rd, 4th grade, and on the school bus shit, and it happened. I mean, I had my fair share of it. I know what it is. It didn't really make me want to kill myself, and I'm not in any way disparaging or taking away from the seriousness of these instances where these young kids did kill themselves. And I think they were, there was a whole other level of torment going on there. It wasn't just, getting teased and just being called a faggot here and there or whatever, what was going on. It was some serious psychological torment and some physical abuse that goes on. And there's really, it's something that some people, they're strong enough, or where they don't take idiots like that seriously to let that rule their life, or and I don't think it's just students bullying students. It's obviously not. It's teachers, oftentimes, of targeting the what they consider the social lessers in the school, or there's always that kind of shit that goes on in the school. Schools are just like they kind of, I don't want to say that they prepare you for the workplace, but they do, because later on in life you have bullies in the workplace, and it's the same shit. It's just your boss is a bully and a dick, and he was probably maybe that bully dick in you know, in high school and maybe in college, or if your boss went to college. My bosses never went to college, unlike me. I don't know why they were my boss. They're, you know, fucking imbeciles, uh, but they're not. It goes on everywhere. It just goes on. They proliferate our culture. You know, I mean, and a lot of, which is why I really never participated much in school sports, because I think a lot of that engenders, you know, bullying. I mean, I remember running for cross country, and they would like try to psych you out and try to shove you off the course and do stupid shit over a fucking race. You know, like it matters that much. You know, like we're all, you know, running for $1 million or something, or I don't know. But it was stupid. It's just a stupid cross country race. Who gives a shit? I mean, I never cared about that stuff. Didn't, you know. I mean, there's things I wanted to do after high school that kept me going, maybe, and my life wasn't that terrible. I mean, my parents are pretty cool and solid, and I have a cool older brother, and I wasn't, you know, I wasn't doing that well in school and or anything. I mean, things weren't coming up Dan every day for me. I mean, but I never, because of bullying, wanted to kill myself, you know. I mean, maybe since then, as an adult, you know, failing a lot, yeah, sure. When I was working as a medical supply clerk for Aramark, sure, you're around some sharp objects, you think about it, because that job sucks. And working in the healthcare industry anywhere fucking blows. But bullying now, high school, no, not really. They're just a bunch of fucking idiots, and most of them are probably, you know, in prison, or maybe they're probably, you know, little league coaches or something. I don't know what happens to bully. I think that's the two things that happen. They either become coaches or they become incarcerated. They become inmates, and then somebody bigger and badder rapes them, and that's their punishment for being bullies, and it all works out. You know, the chi of life continues, maybe. I don't know. And not that I'm not trying to, again, make really light of what's happening to these kids in schools, but I don't, it's you know, it's difficult to take it that, from my perspective back then, it's difficult to take it that seriously. I mean, it sucks. It just, you know, it fucking sucks, but, you know, don't fucking, you know, kids, if you ever, those kids out there, they're getting bullied and shit like that, and they're making fun of you for being gay, or just being, you know, just not being, I don't know, whatever reason they are, you know, you look like a nerd or something like that. I mean, look at me, I ain't freaking cool looking at all. I collect comic books, and I have cats. I mean, I hooked up with a girl. I mean, I was, you know, I didn't totally miss out on life because of it. I mean, I like who I am, I think, to some extent, enough that stuff didn't get to me quite as much. Because you gotta weather that kind of shit in life, you know. There's always going to be another bully. Maybe that's what I'm saying. You know, it's never, you know, a lot of things can be construed as being bullies. I mean, I think a lot of religions are full of bullies. I think churches are bullies. They just, you know, they just want to control your mind, and they tell you horrible things are going to happen to you, and they say, you know, oh, gays, they can't have marriage, you know, and that's bullying. You're telling a group of people they can't do something because of you believe in some dusty old superstitious fucking book. So that's stupid. So fuck you for that, you know. Goddamn idiots. I don't know how, I mean, not that I want to get on that either, but I mean, that's another thing, you know. It's just, there's a lot of things in our culture that engender bullying. It's in our culture. It's in culture throughout the world. I mean, every dictator is a bully. A lot of our presidents have been bullies. Some of them are on money, but they were still, you know, they were slave-owning fuckers. And if there's a hell, which I don't believe in hell, but if there's a hell, that's probably where they're at. George Washington's down in hell right now. You know, hey, fuck you, George Washington. I don't give a shit if you're on the $1 bill. You're a fucking bully. You own fucking slaves. And Thomas Jefferson used to fucking rape slaves, and they, you know, they talk about him like he's a hero now. I mean, so they're all bullies. They're a lot of, you know, notable bullies in history when you think about it. So they weren't so fucking great, you know. Think about it. It's just, you know, I think you know when you really decode history and go back and you look at how these people really were, it's like, oh, they're all bullies. But if we acted that way now, I mean, if I acted the way George Washington, you know, back then acted and act that way now, fuck, you know, I'd be like, holy shit, that's that fucking asshole. You know, Dan Yoxsimer, he's acting freaking trying to take black people and make them his slaves, and he's fucking around and all that shit. And I would tell him, hey, George Washington acted this way, and it's like, so he's the father of our country, and you suck his dick every time they're, you know, they talk about him, like, oh, he's a great man in history. You're like, no, he wasn't. He was a piece of shit, probably. So, you know, fuck off. I don't give a shit. Talk George Washington. I mean, what if they teach kids real history? That would, like, I think, really help maybe this bullying problem. All these people that they're made statues of and that they're on your money, they're pricks, you know, when it comes down to it. They're not great people. Fuck them. You know, stop celebrating awful people in history, and I think that might, you know, put a dent in this bullying problem. So that's my biggest problem there. You know, there's great people now that we don't even, you know, celebrate or talk much about, and most of them get reviled for saying anything that is what's going wrong with America and our culture. They say that it's like, you're anti-American, fucking communist motherfucker. You know, they got their little Tea Party hat on, looking like a fucking lunatic. But you know, they're part of the problem, and they represent everything negative in our culture. I think, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the minute, like, and to get back to school bullying too, and to get back to another thing I think is even worse, which is I'm glad I got out of school before this shit happened, is these school shootings. Okay, I'm not afraid of some bully who calls me names or might slam me into a locker occasionally, but when a kid comes into school with an AK-47, that I'm scared of. I want something done about that. Okay, let's really get on that issue. But no, you don't want to get on that because you know what? There's this big gun lobby in this country, and they've been keeping guns. You know, any moron, they have these gun shows, and you know, anybody can get an AR-15 Bushmaster or as many guns as you want, have them lying around, because it's always some idiot fucking redneck, and then their, you know, kid gets their hands on their guns and goes to school and starts shooting everybody up, and nobody knows the fuck why, you know, because, you know, kids are fucking stupid, a lot of them. That's why they do this shit. It's not, you know, stop searching for the reason why. Just get these fucking guns away from these stupid fucking people, you know? I mean, really. I mean, I don't own a gun. I don't. I don't need a fucking gun. I don't even live in the best neighborhood by any stretch, but I don't own a fucking gun. What do I do with a goddamn gun? I don't hunt. I don't need one laying around. I don't do target shooting. So I don't own a gun. But, you know, I mean, that's a bigger fear to me, to the kids, than bullying. I mean, cyberbullying and all this stuff. And then we said something to be nasty about Facebook. Kid goes to school with an AK-47 and shoots a bunch of kindergartners, and like a week later it's like, well, there's nothing we can do about it, you know. You ain't taking away my gun. They told me we should just arm all the kindergartners, you know, get a principal a bazooka. We could solve the problem right there, you know what I'm saying? You know, and everybody starts listening to like Ted Nugent, and he gets on fucking Bill O'Reilly, and everybody's jerking off to the Second Amendment like it's, I mean, oh God, fucking stupid shit. This country, yeah, in summarization of what I'm saying, yeah, this country's fucking insane. It's dumb and insane, and it just keeps getting dumber and crazier. The older I get, it just seems I don't fucking understand it for the life of me. Don't understand it. Anyway, peace out, I guess.